Perhaps about the relationship between Switzerland and what's your favorite color?
Are you avoiding?
Take
My name is Nonhle Mbutuma. I've grown up here in Pondoland. This is my home. This is my birth. This is my everything to me. Land is our identity because we use land in many ways. We use land for buried our loved ones. We use land for feeding ourselves. And we use the fish, the ocean. Ocean is also in the land. If the land is destroyed, the ocean is going to be destroyed as well. And we use, as you see here, it's hardly to see a clinic, but the medicinal plants that are here are part of healing ourselves. Before this Australian company discovered this mineral here, so-called titanium, the life here was perfect. Everybody loving each other. We care each other. We are not scared of each other. But now, you know, when somebody come to the family, because we call ourselves family, it doesn't matter. It's thousands of people, but we are family. But when somebody, the outsider, just come in between the family. It split, it divide the family. Because the outsider just brings something was not there, which is money. This kind of mining, it's called open cast mining. It's not like other mines where they're going underground. This one, it's going to take out all the species like the grass, the plants, the trees, and everything, and just leave a desert. And that is why we said we don't want this kind of mining because it's going to ruin the land. And once the land is being ruined, we know that, as they said, it's just only 22 years. But 22 years is quite a lot. And it's irreversible, the damage they've already done. We cannot use the land as we use right now. The land right now is like inheritance, you know. Your parents, they died and you continue, and then you died and your children, they continue. But once it's been mined, that chain is going to be cut off. It is going to be very dusty. It's going to cause some diseases like the lungs, and also this kind of mining, it needs water. Cubics of water they're going to use to minimize the dust. And that means the more they mine, as people of Pondoland, we're going to lose water. You see, all this place you see here, all the way down there, once the mining can take place, you'll never see this maize you've seen here. You'll never see these sweet potatoes you see. All these houses are going to be relocated. Right now, the mining company, what they've done, they've already bribed the chiefs to be on their own side. Because they just think of, when they've bribed the chiefs, it's a done deal. They think that land is owned by the chiefs, which is absolutely wrong. The land is owned by the community. They just bribe the chiefs, giving them the 4x4 and the money and all sorts of stuff. It's a big tension between the chiefs and the community right now. For example, our own chief is no longer part of this community. These communities govern themselves without the chief. And the community decided to take a stand to say, we don't need you amongst us because you are sellout, because you decided to choose money than land. We don't need you here. On this struggle, we've already lost quite a lot of numbers of people, huge number, in different ways. Some being shot, some being poisoned, some being died through stress. This struggle is very stressful. Some, it's old age. It's not one way of death. Even if they sent like the hitmen just to intimidate the community, to just shoot, to scare the community, you can imagine that. And the elders, they just become so stressed and thinking of, okay, now the children, they're going to be breaking the leg and hiding, and the women, they're giving birth in the forest, you know.
The Golden City, South Africa's Johannesburg. A center of gold mining, of industry and commerce, Johannesburg creates enormous wealth. More than 1 person in 3 has a car, a fact reflected in the city's design. European engineers mark out the areas to be developed, and then native crews take over the drilling and excavating. Millions of pounds worth of gold comes out of Joburg each year. With this wealth, the people of the city live well and happily. Truly, this is the finest of all the world's golden cities.
Johannesburg's inner city, once a carnival of activity, a playground of memories in the 70s and 80s. Years into democracy, it slowly deteriorated into what some have called a no-go area. the city lost its appeal and became known as one of the most dangerous places in the country.
It's offensive to me that a huge area in a city like Johannesburg should be a no-go area.
It was taken back with a court order with the help and grateful assistance of the Red Ernst.
There were taxis, mechanics, vagrants, drug dealers, sewer water from the 6 hijacked buildings rolling down the hill, and kids. Nice.
I mean, everyone's of the opinion, what if you get taken in there, you're not coming out?
Not only is the building a health hazard, but a safe haven for criminals who operate in the area.
I would never walk out of this building, take a right and go past that building.
He says the presence of illegal residents has negatively impacted his business.
The point is this kind of action can set back the inner city regeneration by years and years and years.
Estimated that 400 buildings in the inner city are hijacked. She found that the city had failed to enforce its own laws, which would have seen them disconnecting electricity and other services to the building. She said the failure amounted to maladministration.
Just is the 550. 550.
They call it a unit,
yes,
isn't it?
just this.
They call it a
But
unit.
when you complain, they say just take your stuff and go. Is it fair? Not fair.
When I grew up, people were frightened to go into Alexandra. And then people were frightened to go to Soweto. And then people were frightened to come to South Africa. People will choose for themselves how they deal with their fears. There is no doubt that Johannesburg is a very dangerous city. To counteract that and react to that with fear is only going to worsen the situation. For me personally, the reality can never be as bad as one's own imagination.
not? Are we? Oops, sorry. No, we're on. Is the camera? Is it? All right. Great. So, can they see me? Are you sure? Okay. Can they? Wait, no, that's very expensive equipment. Yeah. So this here is our archive. You know, we've got quite a big collection of historical video material here, like as you can see, and there's cassettes, DVDs, magazines related to these materials, and we're still transferring some of the data from videotapes onto our hard drive. Yes.
And over here is a server space. There is where we all store our video footage and audio footage. Everything is also secured in a digital cloud as well. And from here, we also feed our online news channel.
Yes, there's still a smell in the building. We don't know actually how to get rid of it. There was a fire once, and that's also why the former tenants had to move out. Yeah.
But I think they were squatters anyway.
It's a bit awkward. That we store the testimonies of the apartheid victims here as well in this very space. I mean, these are the stories of people that deplore that the harm done to them has simply been erased, like as if they were evicted, out of their lives.
Don't talk too much about that. We moved in here legally. That the building was occupied before and then evacuated is nothing we can concern about. No get complex, huh?
No. And if you can just come this side, you can come. This here is our office space right here. Be quick, yeah. Just come. It's all of this is our office space, yeah.
Nearly no smell.
We've tried very hard to take away this. Oh yeah, go on, Jay. And you know, this is here, right here is where we work. You know, we do serious research here. And these days with Swiss economists and activists, you know, all those people are involved.
Really, but we soon realized that we would need to trap the people we wanted to hold to account. So we'll set up a fake interview. Let's do that now.
I think it's a good time. Is that fine for Lucas? Is that good? So who's starting this interview?
Maybe you, Hlengiwe. You want to make the first brief?
I don't mind. I can go for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Light, okay.
All right. You can just give me light and be steady there on the hand, Yaba. Yeah. Is it fine? Is this the right position? Okay. Can you see everything? Great. So I'm standing here in the heart of Johannesburg City, South Africa. Behind me, a group of local residents, international tourists, and cultural dignitaries. They gathered here to watch the highly anticipated Afro-Swiss collaboration. You see, in this, the third most precarious.
Yeah, more.
Okay.
Precarious.
They're not going to laugh at me if I... Precarious society in the world. The highly contested ground on which we stand has been the subject of much controversy. With the actual building in which we're standing representing the vast number of events that have colored this famously troubled African state. Thank you.
Okay, will you go on, Humphrey?
Because I'm in the early 1900s, this building housed the first slaughterhouse servicing early traders in the city bowl. After a two-decade-long battle with the rapidly changing population in this part of Johannesburg who objected to the slaughterhouse policy of slaughtering animals of any kind at any time of the day or night. And one can imagine standing here what kind of sound that meant one was repeatedly subjected to as a local business owner or city dweller, or as a child. When the building was taken over in 1928 by Lutheran missionaries, there was a massive drive to address levels of rising poverty in what was then the largest labor camp in the Southern Hemisphere. What a wow.
What a wow, indeed. It's a big wow.
Yeah. I'll take over. Wait.
Just make sure that
Yeah.
you don't leave Lucas.
No, Lucas, you go.
Lucas, are you going to be fine?
We'll meet on the other side. Okay. We're in?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're fine.
Okay, we're fine. The influenza epidemic, yeah. The great influenza epidemic of 1936.
My dad was born in 1936. Really? Yeah, in Pondoland. Oh. Yeah.
Like a circle that closed now, we say.
It's
A circle, it's closed. 1936, the influenza epidemic was responsible for an unprecedented loss of life, children and women in particular. Many of whom were treated later and died in this very, very part of the building in which we stand. The building went on to become a manufacturing space and remained this way, changing hands from business to the next unit. No, I lost the line. No. Changing hands from one business to the next until the great exodus of white capital. Exodus. The great exodus.
Exodus.
The great exodus of white capital in the 1990s. Now, the space has been reinvented as a cultural hub for artists and investors. Okay.
I take over. In attendance at this event, sponsored by the Swiss Arts Council, the partnership with the Center of the Less Good Idea, assistance to the 3 out of the 7 presidents, Swiss presidents, representative from various branches of South African government, representative of the Vatican, as well as representative from several high-profile Swiss corporations, all anxious, waiting to see their investments, interests, mandates realized in this groundbreaking work about eviction.
Confederation, mindful of its responsibility towards creation, resolves to renew its alliance so as to strengthen liberty, democracy, independence, and peace in a spirit of solidarity and openness towards the world. Determined to live together with mutual consideration and respect for their diversity. Conscious of their common achievements and their responsibility towards future generations. And in the knowledge that only those who use their freedom remain free, and that a strength of its people is measured by its weakest members. The Confederation shall protect the liberty and rights of the people and safeguard the independence and security of our country. It shall promote the welfare, sustainable development, internal cohesion, and cultural diversity of the country. It shall promote the common welfare and ensure the greatest possible equality and opportunity amongst its citizens. It is committed to the long-term preservation of natural resources and to a just and peaceful international order. All activities of the state are based on and limited by law. State activities must be conducted in the public interest. State institutions and private institutions shall act in good faith. All individuals shall take responsibility for themselves according to their abilities and contribute to achieving the tasks of the state and society. Human dignity must be respected and protected. Every person has the right to life. The death penalty shall be prohibited. Every person has the right to personal liberty, and in particular, physical and mental integrity, and the freedom of movement. We, the people, recognize the injustices of our past. Honor those who have suffered for justice and freedom in our land. Respect those who have worked to build and develop our country, and believe that the land belongs to all who live in it. We therefore, through freely elected representatives, adopt this Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic, so as to heal divisions of the past and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. To lay the foundation for the democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people, and every citizen is equally protected by law. To improve the quality of life for all citizens and free potential of each person. All persons shall be equal before the law. Women and men shall have equal rights. Every person shall have the right to freely express and disseminate his opinions in speech, writing, pictures, and to inform himself without hindrance. Freedom of the press, freedom of reporting by any means of broadcast and film shall be guaranteed. There shall be no censorship.
I don't want to read this book anymore. Oder? Deutsch sprechen. Sind die Leute jetzt hier genug da, gell? Verstehen wir uns. Super. Red Ants here, yeah?
Red Ants also here?
Yeah.
Black Ants? Yes?
I don't know.
Black Ants? Any black Ants out there?
Yeah, three black ants here.
Okay, black
Yeah.
Ants going once, black Ants going twice.
Yeah.
Happy Ants also in here. Are there any
Happy Ants.
drunk Ants?
Yeah.
What? I don't get it. Repeat.
Happy Ants confirmed. Happy Ants confirmed.
One drunk Ants over here. Any drunk Ants in here?
Drunk Ants.
going once, drunk Ants going twice. I think perhaps 5.5.
Do we've got rainbow ants?
Any rainbow Ants in here?
Rainbow ants here confirmed, yeah.
I think a full block of rainbow ants. Going twice. Are there any?
Dusty ants.
Any gay ants?
Gay ants here confirmed, yeah.
Yes? Copy that.
Gay ants here confirmed.
Here also. Bisexual ants over here. One bisexual ant.
Bisexual ants for sure, yeah.
Bisexual ants for sure.
Several.
Are there any? Bipolar ants.
Schizophrenic ants here. Schizophrenic ants.
Schizophrenic ants here. Are there any hipster ants? Ah yes, in here. Marmonet ants. What? Going once.
Swiss ants only over here. Swiss ants.
Going once, going twice, nobody ants. Yes. Gentrified ants. Gentrified ants.
Depressive ants. Any depressive ants?
Absolutely in here also.
Depressed ones, yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. Are there any fascist ants?
No communist ants only over here.
Lots of freedom Nazi ants.
Tommy ants.
African National Congress ants.
No presidential ants over here.
Democratic Alliance ants. Are there any good party ants? Any ATM ants? Voting ants? Are there any AIDS ants?
We had a yellow.
Ebola ants. Apparently there's Ebola ants this side.
Oh, here's alien ants.
Yes, here also. Congolese ants. South African ants.
Congolese ants here.
I think here also. Swiss ants over here. I think 2 German ants.
One Austrian ant.
Yes. Pesa ants.
Austrian ants confirmed. Any dead ants somewhere? Dead ants?
I've got a couple of dead ants over here. We also got them. The real ants. Can the real ants please stand up?
Dead ants confirmed. Going once, going twice.
We've got some real ants.
Abstract ants only.
Any naked ants?
Not yet.
Any sandy ants?
Yes. the Ernst confirmed?
Kudala ngihamba ngizula ngilamba ngifuna uthando ngazuza amandla. Turn on the light, let's get out of the dark. Shall we make love? Is my skin the right kind? Am I not enough with my nappy haircut? My lack of muscle, my beady black eyes. The truth is my light, I'm not scared of that now. Before we make love, let's be clear from the start. I'm pulling the plug on your power. I'm taking it back, Ndiyakunganda. You stand over me like a tower and probably thought I would cower. Those days are gone, I'm empowered. I'm not trying to finesse you, I'm trying to stay true to what my intentions are and how I can live out my truth. Ngimnyamu yang nyanya, ngimhlophu yang tanda. Ndaba ipheli lapha kwakhanya kwaqama. Hangina likhaya uma kushona ilanga. Hangazi ngizoshona phi na. Ngimnyamu yang nyanya. Yeah. When there's blood in the streets, there is money to be made. There are vultures who feed while many remain in pain. When there's blood in the streets, there is money to be made. There are vultures who feed while many remain in pain. When there's blood in the streets, there is money to be made. There are vultures who feed while many remain in pain. There are blood in the streets, there is money to be made. There are Barclays, BP, Credit Suisse and IBM. All these banks, commercial interests, guarding dividends and drowning the innocent whose lives are irrelevant. JP Morgan, Chase and Rio Tinto, Exxon Mobil, Ford for Jitsu. It's a reparations issue. Will anybody hear you when the mighty and powerful just render all invisible? Yeah. Render all invisible. Come on. When there's blood in the streets, there is money to be made. There are vultures who feed while many remain in pain. When there's blood in the streets, there is money to be made. There are vultures who feed while many remain in pain. When there's blood in the streets, there is money to be made. There are vultures who feed while many remain in pain. When there's blood in the streets, there is money to be made. There are vultures who feed, yeah, Barclays, BP, Credit Suisse and IBM. And all these banks, commercial interests, guarding dividends and drowning the innocent whose lives are irrelevant. JP Morgan, Chase and Rio Tinto, Exxon Mobil, Ford for Jitsu. It's a reparations issue. Will anybody hear you when the mighty and powerful just render all invisible? Yeah, they render all invisible. Come on.
Vultures feed, blood in the streets. More things change, the more they remain the same.
Blood in the streets.
Blood in
Yeah.
the streets.
Money to be made, yeah. Commercial interests, guarding their dividends, yeah. Lives become irrelevant, your lives become irrelevant, yeah. Yeah, your lives become irrelevant, yeah. Your lives become irrelevant.
Grab a seat.
guys. We said we have a guest here, and this guest is going to help us to investigate into the baking industry. It's a Swiss economist and an activist, Masha Madorin. That's you, Lindiwe. Where are you?
Right. Yeah, but I was just like, I have a couple of questions, like maybe on how to prepare.
No, you don't need to prepare. This is as real as it is in history. There's no time to rehearse.
Yeah, but if I'm playing Masha Madorin, the Swiss activist, I at least have to know, maybe do some research or maybe get a
No, but it's play Masha.
Huh?
There's no other way. You have to play Masha. And there's an American, South African investor here that you and Vivien are going to interview because both of you are the core team of the TV station, remember?
Yes, that is me. I interview our guest, this investor, Ivan Glasenberg, together with Hlengiwe, Ernst is embodying the Swiss economist Masha Madorin, with whom we as a TV station planned our new miniseries. But Humphrey, I feel so uncomfortable. If I have to act out the cliche as always, I'm a big blonde woman, okay. I shall be presenting a guilt-ridden Afrikaner woman, really? Only because of my blonde hair. I come from Germany and I'm half Turkish, so I could use a somewhat more complex role description. I'm not just a blonde TV journalist.
But we could still change, you know. I could also play your part of the head of the TV station, who has invited me, not me, my character, Ivan Glasenberg, to be interviewed.
No, it's not a good idea. You must remember who your character is. This guy, Ivan Glasenberg, is a director of Glencore / Extractor. Is it Extrata, ne?
Extrata.
Yeah, he's a South African man and whose company is situated in Switzerland. He's a patriarchal figure that had no problem inheriting this trading company, Glencore, from this other guy, Mark Rich, who was also constantly sitting there in Switzerland profiting. He was helping the apartheid government with his company, this Mark Rich, and this Ivan Glasenberg guy comes along as a South African and has no problems taking over this company. No, I'm sorry. This part cannot be played by a woman. You have to stick with it, Christoph.
Sorry, Hlengiwe. I just want to mention that the film industry is not opening up for us women.
No, but I know it's true, but shouldn't we also be aware on how, where, and when to open up?
But can you please just get into this thing? No, let's get into these characters and be serious with this thing. Because in this it's like you're afraid of playing now.
All right, Humphrey. Okay, so we said we meet Glasenberg, also Christoph, at his property in the northwest of Johannesburg. That's what we said, no?
Exactly, that's what we said.
Okay.
At least you know where we are going.
That means we have to imagine ourselves standing in some high savanna grass. And in the back of the picture we see a huge fence running through the landscape.
Exactly.
And dividing it?
You managed to get me, Glasenberg, in front of the camera as a result of too many scandals around Extrata and the recent ones, including the Panama Papers, and therefore I finally have to make a statement.
In the script here, it also says that Glasenberg starts to show some remorse as a South African citizen. No. It's impossible. In South Africa, show remorse.
But again, this is not realism. It's something rather surreal thing. Don't laugh, it's serious. Like a dream, Christoph. You know? The whole interview idea is based on that. They met.
Yes, it's fine, Humphrey, okay. So we just think that these doubts form part of our work as actors, as performance, you know?
Alright. Are we good to shoot?
Okay, I can make this.
We've been talking for a while. Okay. And I was going to be fine. So where do we start here?
I think here's a mark.
Is there a mark?
Yes. You can take this.
So this is Humphrey. So I'm just wondering, Mr. Director, do I walk into the shot, or do I'm already positioned there when I start?
Can you try walking to the shot? Let me see. Walk first and then.
Is this
It's
a
only
rehearsal?
1 meter.
Yeah.
Is it a
You'll do it.
rehearsal?
Hlengiwe, you'll do it.
You can.
Okay.
You're a pro.
All right. But are we rehearsing though, or are we doing the real thing?
Okay. Can you please walk and say as we stand here?
No, the line is we stand here.
Okay, that's nice.
Can I-
Action. Okay, camera rolling, clap.
So it's not a rehearsal.
What is
Just do it.
We stand. Sorry, I fluffed. We stand here
On the outer border of a patch of land known as Hueneng, recently discovered to be a former city-state and kingdom, the buildings which have been detected with laser technologies.
and which will be claimed
Christoph
back.
Rath,
No, we are not
No, wait. I haven't said my line yet.
And
though.
I have also 3 lines left.
So we'll have
Let's
to.
do that again, please. Everyone ready?
No, we'll just do it again. It's fine.
Camera rolling, one delay, I know. Take 2, and action.
I still walk in.
Yes.
Okay.
Time, take 80 seconds.
All right, so now I've got it.
It's only 3 words.
Is the camera ready?
And action.
We stand here
On the outer border of a patch of land known as Hueneng, recently discovered to be a former city-state and kingdom, the buildings of which have been detected with laser technology.
No, stop.
And we
That's-
no, come on.
Hey,
Christoph, I need to say
dear
this.
Masha and all
I'm
the
sorry,
staff.
No, you come.
No, we are
in
not
German we
finished.
say, aller guten Dinge sind 3.
No, but that's.
Redo it,
No, we're
redo
not
it,
in
it's
Germany
fine.
here, please. No, I'm just going to continue. They have
Yeah.
Cut.
Please.
And
Okay,
edit.
I can make the last sentence.
Yeah. And which.
Yeah. Detected with laser technologies.
And which will be claimed back by the descendants of the kingdom of Hueneng. Yes.
Yes, Masha. Thank you. We are happy having you here as a guest with us. May I present you the Swiss economist and activist, Masha Madurin. Dear Masha, what a pleasure to have you here with us.
Stop. No, that's not a proper introduction for Ivan Glasenberg. And please correct me, but this is not a patch of land, but a tent within a building. Most obviously, we are here in a situation that we don't have under control.
But who would have this situation under control if not our director?
Exactly. Carry on.
But it seems like, this, I was just thinking that this Ivan Glasenberg guy has many souls. I was thinking, what if these souls started, to possess some of us and we just like.
Glasenberg.
Yeah.
Glasenberg, like he's possessing me, yeah? No, you mix up some stuff here. He's possessing material wealth, but to what excess he can possess me, like whether I'd be possessed by him, maybe obsessed.
No.
Obsessed, maybe if I try to assess his assets. How wealthy can a person be? Like he calls an estimate 7 billion euros his own, no? But so then how can I incorporate such wealth with such a corporation here in my body?
So you're saying that if you were Ivan Glasenberg as a mask, that now this mask is too heavy for you to carry?
First of all,
And
yes.
secondly,
That if anything, I'd have to act as the American trader Mark Rich here. He was the one that laid foundation to Glencore and the global exploitation of raw materials. He was the one, at first, who built this fortune of $2 billion on illegitimate oil deliveries on apartheid South Africa.
Only then it became Glencore Extrata with Ivan Glasenberg. This company still sits in Zug, Switzerland, and pays nearly no taxes to anybody.
Margaret is dead, and you guys are losing focus here. You're not haunted by anyone's past, but by your own guilt.
Then you are saying we white bodies are possessed by possession, and possession itself starts telling our stories as if it would own them.
But who is it?
Possession?
Well, I think you seem to have forgotten that I'm still directing this.
And I fear, Mr. Director, that we're moving backwards in time, and it means no ownership of narration as well. So,
but does that mean we leave the political struggles to time then?
Time might implode. That's what it might be.
No one asked us when we were still faceless. No one had asked us whether we'd like to live here or not. Now I'm wandering alone, alone in a foreign town, wandering alone, alone in a foreign town. If I could wish for something, I'd feel in between. What should I wish for? A good or a bad time? If I could wish for something, I'd wish to be happy, but only a little bit happy. For if I were too happy, I'd long for being sad. If I could wish for something, I'd feel in between. What would I wish for? A good or a bad time? For if I were too happy, I long for being sad. For if I were too happy, I long for being sad. If I could wish for something, I'd feel in between. What should I wish for? A good or a bad time? For if I were too happy, I'd long for being sad. I 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 long for being sad.
Good.